ओम साई राम, ओम साई राम, ओम साई राम। श्री सच्चिदानंद सदगुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। श्री सच्चिदानंद सदगुरु साई गुणानंद महाराज की जय। श्री सच्चिदानंद जगत गुरु बाल योगीराज साई नारायण महाराज की जय। साई लीलावती माता की जय। Sri Sai Satchitra, Chapter 20. Das Ganu's problem solved by Kaka maid servant. In this chapter, Himatpan describes how Das Ganu problem was solved by Kaka Sahib Dikshit's maid servant. Preliminary: God was originally formless. He assumed a form for the sake of bhaktas. With the help of Maya, he played the part of an actor in the big drama of the universe. Let us remember and visualize Sri Sai. Let us go to the Shirdi and see carefully the program after the noon Aarti. After the Aarti ceremony was over, Sai used to come out of the masjid and standing on its arch distribute Uddi to the devotees with very kind, gracious, and loving looks. The bhaktas also got up with equal fervor, clasped with feet, and had the bliss of Uddi. Baba passed handfuls of Uddi into the palms of the devotees and marked their foreheads with Uddi with his own hands. The love he bore for them in his heart was boundless. Then he addressed the bhaktas, "O Bhau, go home to take your lunch. You Anna, go to your lodgings. You Babu, enjoy your meal." In this way, he accosted each and every devotee and sent them home. Even now, you can have the pleasure of these sights if you bring into play your imagination. Now, bringing Sai in our mental vision, let us meditate on him. From his feet upwards to his face, prostrating before him humbly, lovingly, reverentially. Isha Upanishad. Das Ganu once started to write a Marathi commentary on the Isha Upanishad. Let us first give a brief idea of the Upanishad before proceeding further. It is called Mantra Upanishad. As it is embodied in the mantras of the Vedic Sanhita, it constitutes the last of the 40th chapter of the Vajrasani Sanhita, Yajurveda, and it is therefore called Vajrasanai Sanhitopanishad, being embodied in Vedic Sanhitas. This is regarded as superior to all other Upanishads, which are in the Brahmanyaks, and Aranyaks. Explanatory treatises on mantras and rituals. Not only this, other Upanishads are considered to be commentaries on the truth mentioned briefly in the Isha Upanishad. For instance, the biggest of the Upanishad, that is the Brihadradranka Upanishad, is considered by Pandit Sata Walekar to be running commentary on the Isha Upanishad. Professor R.D. Ranade says the Isha Upanishad is quite a small Upanishad and yet it contains many hints which show an extraordinarily piercing insight within the short compass of 18 verses. It gives a valuable mystical description of the Atma, a description of the ideal sage who stands unruffled in the midst of temptations and sorrows, an adumbration of the doctrine of Karma Yoga as later formulated. The most valuable idea that lies at the roots of the Upanishad is that of a logical synthesis between the two opposites of knowledge and the works which are both required according to the Upanishad to be unrolled in the higher synthesis, page 24 of the constructive survey of the Upanishadic philosophy. In another place, he says that the poetry of the Isha Upanishad is a co-mixture of immoral, mystical, and metaphysical knowledge. I bid page 41. From the brief description given above about this Upanishad, one can see how difficult it is to translate this Upanishad in a vernacular language and bring out its exact meaning. Das Ganu translated it in Marathi OV meter and verse by verse, but as this not comprehend the gist or essence of the Upanishad. He was not satisfied with his performance. On being dissatisfied, he consulted some learned man regarding his doubts and difficulties and discussed it with them at a great length. They did not solve them, nor did they uh, give him any rational or satisfactory explanation. So Dasganu was a little restless over this matter. Sadhguru only competent and qualified to explain. As we have seen, the Upanishad is the quint essence of the Vedas. It is a science of self-realization. It is a synth or weapon which can rend asunder the bondage of life and death and makes us free. Therefore, he thought that he who has himself attained self-realization can only give him the true or a correct interpretation of the Upanishad. When nobody could satisfy Dasganu, he resolved to consult Sai Baba about this. When he got an opportunity to go to the Shirdi, he saw Sai Baba prostrated himself before him and mentioned his difficulties about the Isha Upanishad and requested him to give the correct solution. Sai Baba blessed him and said, "You need not be anxious. There is no difficulty about the matter, and the maid servant of the Kaka Sahib Dikshit, who will solve your doubts at Vilepale on your way to home." The people who were present there and heard this thought that Baba was joking and said, "How could an illiterate maid servant solve the difficulties of the mystic nature?" But Tajganu thought otherwise. He will sure that whatever Baba spoke must come true, as the Baba's word was the decree of the Brahma Almighty, Kaka's maid servant. Fully believing Baba's words, he left Shirdi and came to the Vilepale, a suburb of Mumbai, and stayed with Kaka Sahib Dikshit there. The next day, when Dasganu was enjoying this morning nap, some say when he was engaged in worship, he heard a poor girl singing a beautiful song in clear and melodious tone. The theme of the song was a crimson colored sari. How nice it was, how fine was it embroidery, how beautiful were its borders, etc. He liked the song so much that he came out and saw that it was being sung by a young girl, the sister of the Namya, who was a servant of Kaka Sahib. The girl was cleaning vessels and had only a torn rag on her person. On seeing her impoverished condition and her happy temperament, Asganu felt pity for her, and when the Rao Bahadur M.V. Pradhan gave him a pair of dhotas, the next day he requested him to give a sari to the poor girl also. Rao Bahadur bought a good chirdi small sari and presented it to her like a starved person getting delicious dishes to eat. Her joy knew no bounds. Next day she wore the new sari and out of the great joy and merriment whirled and danced around and played fugri with another girls all. And the day following, she kept the new sari in the box at home and came with the old and torn rags, but she looked as merry as she was previously. On seeing this, the Dasganu pity transformed into admiration. He thought that the girl, being poor, had to wear a torn rag, but now she had a new sari, which she kept in the reserve and putting on the old rags. Treated herself, showing no trace of sorrow or dejection. Thus, he realized that all our feelings or of pain and pleasure depend on the attitude of our mind. On thinking deeply over this incident, he realized that a man ought to enjoy whatever God has bestowed on him, and the firm conviction that he besets everything from behind and before and all sides. That whatever is bestowed on him by God must be for his good. In this particular case, the impoverished condition of the poor girl, her torn rag and the new sari, the donor and the doni and the deal were all paths of the Lord and pervaded by him. Here, Dasganu got a practical demonstration of the lesson of the Upanishad, the lesson of the contentment with the one's own lot, with the belief that whatever happens is ordained by God and is ultimately good for us. Unique method of teaching. From the above incident, the reader will see that Baba's method was unique and varied. Though Baba never left Shirdi, he sent some to Machindragarh, some to Kolhapur or Solhapur for practicing sadhanas. To some he appeared in his usual form. To some he appeared in the waking or the dream state, day or night, and satisfied their desires. It is impossible to describe all the methods that the Baba used in imparting instructions to his bhaktas. In this particular case, he sent Dasganu to Vilepale, where he got his problem solved through the maid servant. To those who say that it was not necessary to send away Dasganu and that Baba could have personally taught him, we say that Baba followed the right or a best course, or how else could Dasganu learn the great lesson? Now we close the chapter with another beautiful extract about the Upanishad, the ethics of the Isha. One of the main features of the Isha Upanishad is the ethical advice it offers, and it is interesting to note that the ethics of the Upanishad are definitely based upon the metaphysical position given in it. The very opening words of the Upanishad tell us that God pervades everything. As a corollary from this metaphysical position, the ethical advice it offers is that a man ought to enjoy whatever God bestows on him in the firm belief that as he pervades everything, whatever is bestowed on him by God must be good. It follows naturally that the Upanishad should forbid us from coveting another man's property. In fact, we are fittingly taught here a lesson of the contentment with one's own lot of the belief that whatever happens is divinely ordained and hence it is good for us. Another moral advice is that a man must spend his lifetime always in doing action, specifically the karmas enjoyed in the shastras with resignation to his will. Inactively, according to the Upanishad, would be the canker of the soul, and it is only when a man spends his lifetime in dog actions in this manner that he can hope to attain the ideal of the nishkarmya. And finally, the text goes on to say that a man who sees all beings in the self and sees the self as existing in all beings, in fact, for whom all beings and everything that exists have some become the self, and how can such a man suffer for the infatuation? And what ground would such a man have for grief? Doubtfulness and the infatuation and grief verily proceed from our not being able to see the Atma in all things. But a man who realizes the oneness of all the things from everything has become the self must ipso facto cease to be affected by the common foibles of humanity. Page 169, 171st of the Creative Period by Mrs. Belwalkar and Ranade. Bo to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki jai. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sai Karnananda Maharaj ki jai. Sri Sachidananda Jagat Guru Bal Yogiraj Sainath Maharaj ki jai. Sai Leelavati Mata ki jai. Om Sai Ram.